children, let us recall our previous lesson. Once just I want to recall this topic. So what is meant by photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is nothing but the plants can prepare its own food material by using sunlight, carbon dioxide and other minerals, isn't it? So if you observe these plants, almost all the leaves are green in color due to the pigment called chlorophyll. Which pigment is present in these leaves? Chlorophyll pigment. It is nothing but pigment. These chlorophyll pigment can build up complex molecules from the simpler ones. That means by using these already we have discussed about these carbon dioxide and other, isn't it? So by using these simpler ones, these chlorophyll pigment can build up the complex molecules, isn't it? So scientists have tried to formulate about the equation for photosynthesis for the past 200 years. And at first C.V. Van during the period of 1931, he had formulated an equation, isn't it? So that means if you observe this equation, by using these simple carbon dioxide and water molecules, simple inorganic substances, that means plants are taking these simple inorganic substances and their plants are giving complex organic compounds. We have been discussed about that. So that means one molecule of carbohydrate form, one molecule of after C.V. Name, later Robert Hill showed that oxygen is released from water and he remodified and formulated the equation as 6CO2 plus 12H2O in presence of light and chlorophyll gives rise to C6H12O6. That means it is nothing but the starch or glucose. We are getting energy only by these glucose only. Plus 6 water molecules and plus 6 oxygen molecules. Besides these carbohydrates, from these simple ones, glucose, and it has given us starch and cellulose also. Starch and cellulose. Okay, we already know that the plants are preparing carbohydrates. By those carbohydrates only we are getting energy. Thus we know that. But how can we prove? So let us see an activity presence of starch in leaves. So now let us see the activity presence of starch in leaves. For this activity, just you have to take a beaker full of water and after C.V. Name, later Robert Hill showed that oxygen is released from water and he remodified and formulated the equation as 6CO2 plus 12H2O in presence of light and chlorophyll gives rise to C6H12O6. That means it is nothing but the starch or glucose. We are getting energy only by these glucose only. Plus 6 water molecules and plus 6 oxygen molecules. Let us see that carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis. So now we have taken a destarched plant, isn't it? A destarched plant in sense, just you have to keep this potted plant under dark place for 1 week. So if you keep that plant under the dark place, slowly the starch will not present on the leaves, isn't it? But you have to pour some water for that plant also. So after 1 week, just you have to take one plant leaf and you have to take a wide mounted bottle and just for this wide mounted bottle Just you have to take insert a cork, and for this you have to insert half of the leaf inside the bottle. So in this bottle just you have to take KOH solution or KOH pellets also. KOH is potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide solution or KOH pellets also. So what is the main purpose of these KOH means? It will absorb the carbon dioxide which is present inside the bottle. Right? So that is the main purpose. So just we already capture these areas like this, and after 1 week you have to take out this plant under the sun. After 2 to 3 hours, just you have to absorb the plant. So you have to cut 1 leaf or else any other healthy leaf, and you have to cut this leaf and just you have to absorb it. If you absorb the leaf, immediately half of the leaf, that means whatever the portion inserted inside the bottle, it becomes colorless because there is no color for that inserted portion. So whereas, which is exposed to the sunlight, the remaining all the part of the plant part as well as all the plant leaves, those are all color, that means green in color. So if you want to test these, just you have to add 2 to 3 drops of iodine. Just 2 to 3 drops of iodine. So if you add 2 to 3 drops of iodine in these leaf, which portion is inside the bottle, it is colorless, and which is out of the bottle, it becomes bluish black in color. So thus we concluded bluish black in color. So the presence of a starch. So that means if you observe here by this experiment, carbon dioxide is essential for the photosynthesis process. So after series of experiments, several scientists have proved that some other factor is also necessary for the photosynthesis. That means light is necessary for the photosynthesis. See, light is also necessary for photosynthesis. So during the period of Presley's time, that means they thought that how does this energy get from the plants? That means the situation would be also be reversed. So eventually the scientists learned that the oxygen formation would use up the energy. That means we already know that we are getting oxygen from the plant, isn't it? That means how does the plant get that energy? How does the plant is giving oxygen for us? So after several experiments, John Ingenhouse during the period of 1730 and 1799, he thought that he experimented and he done so many experiments about that, and he found the answer that during the photosynthesis time, the energy is also used up. And during the period of 1779, after he noticed that the plant can easily use up the energy, isn't it? So John Ingenhouse, he thought that, and he had gathered some water aquatic plants. Aquatic plants in sense water plants. For example, hydrilla. And he had taken hydrilla plant in his experiment also. He noticed that whenever he observed that hydrilla plant, he had taken the hydrilla plant in coming sections, we will discuss about that. And he had taken the hydrilla plant and kept under the light. Then he found a small bubbles released. And whatever the bubbles has evolved from these beaker, he named it as oxygen. And later on he named that bubbles. That means that gas is called as oxygen. And after some time, Einstein during the period Okay. During the period of 20th century, Anderson also transformed and had used a strand of algae, and he exposed it to different type of colors. That means like already you know that Vibgyor colors are there. So he used it to expose it that light to the strand of algae, and he used oxygen sensitive bacteria, and that brown areas illuminated. So whenever he illuminated these, but only red and blue color, that means they attract the maximum number of substances, the maximum number of things are attracted for red and blue colors only. That means red and blue ray of color. So thus they concluded, that means during the period of 1779, he noticed that particularly all this energy is released only during the presence of a light only. So for this he had done an experiment. That means oxygen is released during the photosynthesis process in the presence of light. So let us see about that activity. So oxygen is necessary. Oxygen is produced during the process of photosynthesis. During the process of photosynthesis in the presence of light. For that, just he had taken a beaker full of water, he had taken a beaker full of water and he selected aquatic plants, that means hydrilla. He had taken hydrilla plants. For this purpose, just he had taken inserted a funnel. He had inserted a funnel just inside that. Inside that he had taken these hydrilla plant. This is nothing but an aquatic plant, hydrilla plant, and just he inserted these hydrilla plant into the funnel, and this funnel has to insert it downwards. And from this, just you have to take a test tube, and in this you have to fill water. Just you have to take a test tube and you have to fill water inside this test tube. Very carefully, just you have to cover this test tube with your tongue and immerse over this funnel, isn't it? Just immediately, very carefully you have to cover this test tube. See, we already placed the test tube over the funnel. Very carefully you have to invert this test tube over this funnel, isn't it? So already we have taken hydrilla plant inside this funnel also. Now keep these apparatus under the sunlight for 3 to 4 hours. Whenever if you observe, if you kept these apparatus under 3 to 4 hours, after some time you found that a small bubbles will be takes place. A small bubbles. You can easily observe, a small bubbles evolved from these hydrilla plants to these funnel. After some words, if you observe that, if you take two identical apparatus like this, one will have to keep under dot place and one will have to keep under sunlight. If you observe, the dot place apparatus will not evolve any bubbles, whereas whatever you kept in under the sunlight, then you can easily observe small bubbles will be evolved from these plants and it will be evolved upwards like this. See, if you observe the presence of light, whenever the presence of light is present, very fastly, the evolving of these bubbles are very fast. So by this, he concluded that those bubbles are nothing but oxygen. So if you want to test that whether this gas is oxygen or not means, immediately, with very carefully you have to keep your thumb like this and slowly you have to lift at this test tube, isn't it? See, whenever if you slowly take out this test tube and immediately you have to close this thumb and just take one incense stick, glowing incense stick or matchstick also. Whenever you keep those incense stick here, if you take a incense stick or matchstick, if you keep those sticks inside the test tube, immediately it burns in a very glowing manner. It continuously burns, whether it is a matchstick or incense stick. Thus we concluded that oxygen is having nature to burn the incense stick continuously. So thus the scientists concluded oxygen is produced during the process of photosynthesis by this test tube, funnel, and these bubbles are nothing but oxygen. Just take a water in beaker. So this shows the presence of oxygen in the sunlight. Thus we already discussed some of the factors are essential for the photosynthesis. So end of this class, just I will give some assignment to you. Just you have to note down the text assignment and write down the answers for that. If you have textbooks, everybody once check the diagrams also. Okay? Now I am going to give you the assignment here. Write any one experiment. Write any one experiment, in sense any activity that is necessary for photosynthesis. So far we have learned about some of the factors necessary for photosynthesis. You have to take any one factor that is necessary for photosynthesis and write down the experiment, process, procedure, everything and draw the diagram also. Okay? Okay? So thus we completed this chapter and the incoming sessions we will explain about some other factors regarding the photosynthesis also. Okay? Do your works, be up to